Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Echoes of Insight podcast. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter weekend and were able to celebrate with family or friends. And if you weren't, I hope you had a great time anyway. In this episode, I was joined by my friend Derek Amaral to discuss what our 72-hour fast was like. Yes, that's right. 3 full days, no food. There was a lot of ups and downs, and we discuss it in here. We talk about the hardest parts, the easiest parts, why we think everyone should do one, the benefits of doing them, and a whole lot more. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Hello, Derek.
Hi, Joey.
What's up, dude?
Not a whole lot.
What are you doing anything interesting right now at this moment?
Actually, yeah, we both are. We endeavored in a 72-hour fast, which I believe we have like 3 hours left.
Let's check the clocks.
All right.
We'll check the clocks. We're going to prove it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can't really prove it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, people can say we faked it all we want, but we know we didn't.
if you can see this clock right now, it says 69 hours, 3 minutes, and 18 seconds. That's how long it's been since we've had any food.
Yep.
Any food.
Yeah.
I guess the first question is, why?
So I've heard about this a few times, and I guess the first person I heard do it was about Dana White, and I don't know, maybe you as well, but I was like, there's no way. Like, how can that be good? You look at the before and after pictures, and it's a pretty drastic change. And then I started doing some research on it and realized that, oh, wow, this has a lot of health benefits, like not just like clarity of your mind, but like curing diseases and like all of that. And then I was like, maybe it's not so bad. And I've recently been losing a lot of weight. So I thought about it, and I was like, it could be a good way to lose a little bit of weight, but also kind of mentally challenge myself.
Kind of clear out your body.
Yeah,
I feel like
that
it's,
too.
It's like a whole reset.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy. And I am doing it partially for that reason too. But in the Bible, it does say, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. So, Jesus said when you fast, not if you fast. So we're supposed to fast anyway. But, yeah, I mean, how's it been? What's the hardest part about it?
I think the hardest part for me has been like the minor headaches, and they don't really like go away. They're kind of constant, but they're not that bad. And then every 3 hours, I get really hungry for about like 15 minutes. And then I'm just like, food is the only thing I can think about. And I've been working in a grocery store for the past 3 days.
Oh yeah.
So like everywhere I look, it's just like, I want to eat that. Like I want to, like, give me it. I need it now. But I don't know. It's kind of all mental. So,
it really is.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't get so physically hungry that you need to eat.
Yeah.
It's more like I'm pretty hungry, but oh man, do I want to eat right now?
Yeah.
It's like you just want to eat.
Yeah. See, I thought it was going to be like the other way. I thought it was going to be so bad. Like I was going to get so hungry, like I have to eat or I'm going to like pass out or something like that. But no, it wasn't.
I was surprised about how resilient like our bodies are and how we can handle not eating for 3 full days.
Yep.
It's really insane. I thought I would, well, I don't know if it's harder than I was expecting or if it was easier than I was expecting. It was just different. In the physical, I don't know. Maybe it was harder than I expected because I thought it would be mentally easy and physically hard, but it's definitely mentally hard and partially physically hard.
See, like I kind of like I thought it was going to be a little bit harder, and I don't know if maybe because I went into it with like a really good mindset, and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna feel clarity, I'm just gonna feel better, and so maybe that kind of helped me to or like trick myself and be like, oh, it won't be that bad, and then, I kind of went through it, and I was like, how can you not eat for 3 days? Like that sounds horrible, but I don't think it was as bad as I thought it was.
It was just so different.
Yeah,
I think you're right. It wasn't. I don't know if it was harder than I thought.
but we also both probably thought different things. Like maybe I thought it was going to be really, really hard. So then now that I've done it, I was like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I was like, oh, it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tell you, it's not easy.
No, it wasn't easy. Not at all.
I would challenge everyone, and we're not on here. We're not talking about this to like brag or anything. We are just sharing our experience and how it was, and our benefits and the tough parts about it. But yeah, I would encourage you, especially if you think that you can do it, that you should do it, because I believe you can, and I know you can. But I think it's going to be a lot more difficult than you expect. It's just so different.
Yeah.
Like,
It's very hard to explain.
It
'Cause
is.
it's like the amount of people that are like, "Oh, why are you doing it? How do you feel now that you've done it?" Or like a few days in or whatever. And I was like, to be honest, I don't really know how to answer that question. Like I know it sounds stupid, but I'm just I guess kind of the same. I guess I'm hungry, maybe a little irritated, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like almost. It's like you've been breathing your whole life, and then someone's like, "Oh yeah, you're not allowed to breathe for 3 days." It's not like you're not going to die; like you'll
Yeah.
still survive. But it's like now you have to stop breathing for 3 days. It doesn't matter if it's good, if you feel better or worse. You're gonna just feel weird.
Especially because we're like creatures of habit. So we get used to eating at around the same time every day. And then it's like all of a sudden you miss it once. Like the first meal I missed, I was just like, okay, this is weird. Like normally I should be eating right now, but for some reason I'm not. So
Yeah. I don't know about you, but my body's like clockwork. Like I need right at 8 a.m. That's why I need my breakfast. Basically, right at noon, I need my lunch, and then right at actually dinner's kind of switches around, but
yeah.
basically my body's like on a clock. I do the same thing every day, and I eat the same things every day. So it was weird, even just missing the first meal, which wasn't even that long. It was probably 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. to it was like 11 hours, but 8 of those hours I was sleeping.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
But yeah, that's just the habit you get into and then not doing it. For me, it was a little different because I don't want to say like I do things at the same time every day since I like go to school and my schedule changes kind of day to day. But like every like Monday, I have like this routine. Like I'll go home from school, I'll eat, I'll work out. Tuesday, same thing, different time, or maybe I'll go to work, like whatever it is. But it was definitely different because it's like something's missing and it kind of is driving me crazy. Obviously, I knew what it was, but yeah.
That is so true. That's actually a good way of explaining it.
Yeah.
You're like, you just know something's missing. You
Yeah.
just know. You're like, I don't know. My body, like, it needs this.
Yeah.
It actually needs this. Do you know what the world's longest fast was?
I do not, but I do know someone. I heard about this like I think right before we started our fast, he did like a 41-day water fast or something like that.
Yeah, I think the longest fast was like 380 something days, 381, I think. But you know, it was really funny because I've grown up in church, and I have like one of the big stories is Jesus fasting in the desert for 40 days, and I always thought that was like a miracle. I was like, oh yeah, he's Jesus, of course he can do that.
Yep.
But people do that. Like people do 40-day fasts. I
Yeah.
see people online all the time that do 21-day fasts, and they do it like twice a year.
Yep.
It's like, what? How can your body
it's insane.
do that?
I don't know. So now that like we're just about on 3 days, do you think you could go longer? And like how much longer do you think you could
Right
go?
now?
Yeah.
Like, on this?
Or no, not even now, but like in the future if you wanted to plan like a different one. How far do you think you could take yourself? That's a tough question.
I feel like I could go for like a week.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because, well, you know, I'm sure we could go longer. I'm sure we
Yeah.
could do these 40-day ones that people do
Probably.
eventually.
I don't know if
Those
I'd
ones
want
you
to
do
do
have
that,
to
but-
you do have to build up to.
Yeah.
I think there was an important thing that I kind of missed out on, which was sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I think sleep is a lot more important when you're doing this,
Yeah.
because I don't really feel like it's like I feel sick. Like I feel sick.
Yeah.
Like my muscles are super weak.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very, very tired.
Yep. Oh yeah, me too.
Like you just don't get the nutrition.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like if I did get the sleep in, good sleep, I feel like I would feel a lot better today.
Yep.
And then I'd be like, oh yeah, a week wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
mean-
I agree because I went to bed. I started going to bed like 2 hours earlier than I usually did because I literally couldn't. I couldn't stay up. I literally couldn't keep my eyes open, and that's probably why I felt so good this morning because I got like a really good sleep and I slept like 2 hours longer than I usually do. So
Yeah, I actually had a tough time sleeping. That's why I
Really?
didn't sleep well last night. Just because, dude, I'm laying in bed and I'm like, oh, my stomach, like, it hurts,
Yeah.
and you're just, it's hard to sleep when you're hungry.
Yeah.
What do you think is a good idea? Like, what should someone do if they're gonna do a fast? What's gonna make it easier for them?
I think a big thing I think about a lot is like I started intermediate fasting when I wanted to lose weight. So I wouldn't eat for like 14, 15 hours at a time. And I did that for 3 months straight. Not like every single day, but like most days. And I think now that I'm doing this, I think that helped me a lot. Because like the times where I got really hungry, I was able to push through for a couple hours and then I would eat. But like now I'm not, but it got better until then the couple hours came back. I got really hungry and then it kind of went away again. So definitely, if you're planning on doing like a longer fast, I would say do like short fasts. Do them for like a while, because like not eating for like 12 to 14 hours, I don't think it's that difficult. It's more mental, and if you can do that for like a short period of time, you can work your way up to it.
Yeah, doing the intermediate fasting is like breaking a habit that you do once a day. Like you're doing one at a time,
Mm-hmm.
Like you're missing one meal.
Yeah.
But the 3 days is like, dude, you're missing what, 3, 6, 9 meals.
Yeah.
You're missing a lot of meals.
Yeah.
And it's less the hunger and more the habit.
Yeah.
I told you, and the reason I want to do this pod like now is because I feel like in 2 days we're gonna forget what this feels like.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be back to normal, and we wouldn't be able to talk about it like this.
Yep.
But the is there anything that surprised you with yourself during this?
I want to say like my mental strength, but like at the same time, I knew I was going to do it. Like I was not going to fail.
It makes
But-
it easier having each other too.
Yeah. Oh,
If
yeah.
I was alone, it would have been
Yeah.
way tougher.
Yeah, maybe if I was alone, I probably would have slipped, but yeah. I don't know. Did the people around it like around you like make it harder or like easier?
They made it easier, I think. Or they didn't make it. They didn't go out of their way to make it harder.
Yeah.
I assumed something opposite for you.
Oh yeah, completely opposite. People offering me food. Oh, what do you want to eat? And they're like, oh wait. And I'm like, really? Like, come on. Or like Kylie's always eating like snacks and stuff, and she's like, oh, can you drive me to Chick-fil-A? And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
And she's like, oh, I'm gonna have dessert while I'm just like sitting downstairs with her, and I'm like, come on.
That actually would make it way worse.
Oh yeah, it was hard. Yeah, last night was really, really rough.
Yeah, dude, it's something else. To think your body can just go 3 days without any food
Mm-hmm.
is just crazy.
I am surprised though, because like if you ever asked me this, like I'd say up until like 3 months ago, like before that, if you asked me like, oh, eating without 3 days, I'd be like, no shot. Like, are you kidding? I'm gonna die. Like I couldn't do that. No way. But here I am.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be way worse. I thought it was gonna be like physically way worse. I
Mhm.
thought I would be struggling to stay conscious. Like,
Yeah.
literally, I didn't think I would be able to drive. I was like, dude, how am I supposed to drive if I haven't had any food in 3 days? It doesn't make any sense.
Yep. Because you have no energy. Like
Yeah,
at
but
all.
I just drove to where is it? The Deerfield.
Yeah.
I just drove to Deerfield, an hour away, and back, and I worked all 3 days,
Mhm.
and I was like, tired. My muscles were super tired, but I made it through.
How much water did you drink?
A lot more than normal.
Yeah.
A lot more than normal. This water bottle that I have here, probably like 3 of these a day.
Okay.
And I'm usually probably closer to 2.
Yeah.
And that's 3 a day without working out, because I didn't work out during this
Yeah.
whole thing. And usually I do 2 with working out. And I usually drink a whole one while I'm working out. So
Yeah. I worked out once and I just went like lighter. Like I did my full exercise, did lighter weights, like more controlled. And after my workout, like I felt really good during my workout, but then after my workout, I laid like on the couch and I was just like watching TV. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I literally like fell asleep for like a half hour and I woke up and I
Wow.
was like, what
Oh yeah, you
what
told me
yeah, I
that.
was like, what just happened? Like that was probably one of the weirdest things I've experienced.
Yeah, I had to change a tire on a or no, I didn't have to change a tire. I had to change a reverse motor on a Harley on a trike. They got reverse motors. But you have to take the tire off, and I was like pulling on these lug nuts, and they were so tight. And I'm like, I don't know if it's me. Like I don't know if I'm just this weak right now, or if these things are on wicked tight.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I when I was working out, I definitely felt weaker, like definitely, and even
Mm,
walking around during work all day because I walk around a lot. My legs were weaker, my like upper body, I just felt weak.
mm. My knees were just so weak today.
Hmm.
Just walking up the stairs like
Oh
a
yeah,
grandpa, and you know.
yeah. And one thing I noticed is because I was sore from doing like legs, like when we started, and normally by now I'm like obviously I'm completely fine, but I'm still a little bit sore. Like I've had no chance to recover at all,
Mm.
just because I've had no food, no
It's
nutrients, nothing.
it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Did you have bone broth?
Yes, I did. I had a little bit.
How much?
So my dad got like it was one that you put in the microwave. It comes in like kind of chunky and you have to heat it up and it like liquefies.
Oh,
But so I had I think whatever night it was the second like the beginning of the second day, which was at night for us. I had like maybe a fourth of a cup because it was really high in calorie. It was like 110 per cup and I know normally it's like 40. So I had a little bit less and then I had I think like half a cup the next day and that was it.
oh,
Yep.
yeah. I had like 3 mugs full, but my mom said that was probably like that wasn't a cup. I don't know what a cup is. Like I don't use a measuring glass or
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, I think I probably had close to that 2 cups. I had 3 mugfuls, and I knew they were less than a cup each. So
Yep.
yeah, did that help you at all?
Um yes, cuz it kind of gave I mean, I've been drinking so much water like during the meals that I would normally have. I'd drink like 2 waters instead of eating. And I think it just kind of like my taste buds were just like, "Ooh, it's like a little something." And it didn't really make me more hungry, which I thought it was going to because it was like, "Oh, you're consuming something. Now give me more. Give me more." But no, it definitely helped to like make my tongue or my taste buds be like, "Okay, there's something."
I've heard that. People say when you chew gum, there's something like in your body that triggers that, like your throat is ready to get food in, so
Mhm.
it makes you hungrier
Yeah.
by like chewing on gum. And so I actually didn't chew gum. I've heard from a lot of people that it helps, but I didn't because I thought it was gonna make it worse.
Yes, I didn't I thought about it, but I was like, I don't know, like I didn't really care to.
Yeah, and
And
you know we were already so strict with the water
yeah,
and bone broth, and I'm like, I don't want to do anything that like I don't want to numb it. Like, I
yeah,
don't want to numb it. I don't want this to be easy.
hmm
What's the point? If we're not eating for 3 days, we want it to be hard,
yeah.
right? That's
And
the whole point.
I was also like looking up a ton of different things about like just bone broth too. I was like, would that technically break your fast? And
Mm,
like it depends because some people say it technically does, but like when you're doing like a fast for an extended period of time, it's kind of like it really helps because like bone broth is like high in protein and
mm.
like some nutrients that you need. So I
I'm
don't know.
sure. I'm sure it would help for a lot longer fasts,
Yeah.
but I didn't really feel any improvements
No,
on it.
I kind of felt the same the entire time.
Yeah,
Like I
same
didn't like
here.
feel better because of it.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Not about bone broth. Oh, yeah, it was about bone broth. Bone broth triggered some sort of uh, uh, craving for me, and it was hot coffee.
That's so weird.
And I literally haven't had caffeine in a year and a half. Probably, yeah, a year and a half. Haven't had any caffeine, none. And even before that, I wasn't much of a coffee drinker. Never mind hot coffee.
Mhm.
So I don't know what it was. Probably something about the warmth of the bone broth
Yeah.
was like, dude, imagine how good this would be if this was coffee. I've actually heard too, a lot of people will do coffee,
Mhm.
they'll do caffeine
Yeah, I've seen
in their
that.
fasts.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just whatever rules you go by.
Yeah.
Some people say water, salt only. Some people say bone broth is okay. Some people say chewing gum's okay. Some people say coffee's okay. Some people say all caffeine's okay. Any liquid, like
Yeah.
it's all.
Did you use salt at all?
I put salt in my bone broth because
Oh.
it wasn't. It needs salt.
Yeah, I didn't use it at all.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but then I was like, whatever.
Well,
It'll be okay.
Bone broth already has a lot of sodium in it, so
Yeah.
I guess I didn't. I only did it really for the taste.
Yeah.
I thought I would do more though. Like I thought I would have salt more because I usually before I work out, I'll just grab the grinder, twist it a few times onto the table, put it in my hand, and like literally just eat salt because it helps with cramps during your workouts. But I didn't feel any need to.
Yeah.
Did you like when was the hardest time for you?
I'll definitely say during the second day, like kind of all day while I was at work, because like constantly, like I just kind of wanted to like punch someone in the face. Like that's how I felt. I was so irritated by like the fact that like, oh, you could just eat food, but like you're too stubborn for that. Like you're not gonna do it. And I don't know. I was just so aggravated by every little thing. Like the stupidest things would tick me off. I don't know why. I don't even know. Like I can't give you an example. I don't even remember them, but it'd be something as stupid as like hearing like a tap sound, or it's like, dude, like stop that. Like anything. It was, yeah.
That was odd. That is not what I experienced at all. I didn't have any irritability. I was just tired. My whole body was drained. I was just drained. It was bad, but you know, we're not here to complain.
No.
We did it for a reason.
No, I'm definitely happy that I did it.
Yeah, why? Why are you happy?
I think because of the challenge, like I think mentally it was a good challenge to do. And I don't know, because people are like, oh, are you doing it for the health benefits, blah, blah. I was like, well, like a little bit, but I feel like it was a fun challenge. Like to be able to be like, okay, 3 days, you're not going to do this. And then to now be here, and it's like, okay, I did that. Like, look, it's a small step. Like now what can I do? You know, it's almost like a little opening.
One of the weirdest things to feel is looking at the clock on my phone and being like, wow, that just hit 50. That just hit 50 hours.
Yep.
I haven't eaten. And then it just keeps going up. And you're like, what, dude? 70 hours?
Yeah.
Like, it's really ridiculous.
It is.
One of the cool things, too, that I liked to look at is, like, how much I've done in the time, it's like, since I've eaten.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, do the math. It's Saturday right now. Last time that I ate was Wednesday night.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
That's wild. I did 3 full work days. I went to an appointment with a doctor, and I don't know what else I did. I'm doing a podcast now.
Yeah.
Like, I did all this stuff, and I didn't eat
Mm-hmm.
in between these.
I think about this a lot too. It's like, obviously I was around a ton of people in those 3 days, and it's like none of these people have any idea what you're going through. Like other than like you tell like some of your friends, or like I told my boss or some of the people I work with, but it's like 99.9% of these people have no idea, oh, I'm fasting for 3 days. Like you never know what someone's going through, what they're trying to do. It's like, or like I was irritable. It's like maybe I came across to someone the wrong way when they were trying to talk to me, and they're like, oh, this guy's mean. Like what's his deal? But it's like you really have no idea like what someone's doing.
Yeah, they just don't know. They just don't know. But yeah, that's true. You gotta be careful how you judge people, because you don't know what they're going through. It is tough. It is weird though how much it feels like being sick. Like I don't. That's probably just the best way to describe it. At least the way that I feel. You said you felt great this morning.
Yes, like really, really good. Like I woke up, and it was probably because I got a good night's sleep and slept longer than usual. But like my head felt so clear. I felt energetic, which I thought was really weird. And I was ready to go. And then I got a minor headache, and I've kind of had it since, but still okay.
I've heard people get the clarity of mind a day or 2 days after the fast, purely because, you know, like our bodies right now are kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for us to think. And I'm very surprised about how much energy I have like right at this moment, because even before, and I know after, I'm going to have a very tough time. I'm just going to be drained. Like I'm still drained, but I was like, I don't know how this podcast is going to be, because I'm so tired. I don't know if I can talk like like a normal human.
Do you think it's because like you're almost done?
It might be. My body's kind of realizing that it's almost done, so it's like, okay, you can give some more energy. We don't
Yeah.
have to conserve everything.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly that. Uh, but I've also found out that throughout the whole thing, as long as I'm doing something, my body's pretty good. Like it's pretty good. I'm still hungry. Like right now, I'm very hungry, but I'm not focusing on how bad I feel. Like I think I had a fever the second day, but I was working, so I didn't really feel it until after work. And even like driving today, like that's not a very demanding,
Yeah.
physically demanding job to do, and yet it was enough to distract me from how I felt.
Yeah, I agree with that because I was like, when I was working, it's like I'm working, I'm actively doing something. But then right when I went to lunch today is kind of when I started to feel worse, and I think I like felt like hot, and it was because I was just sitting there in my car doing nothing, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like I would rather just work. Like I don't even care to take a lunch. I'd
Oh,
rather
yeah,
just work.
lunch. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't take any sort of lunch break because, well, I guess I kind of did because I heated up bone broth. But
Yeah.
it was the hardest part for me. The hardest time for me was when I was bored.
Yeah.
So I tried to keep myself busy. It was tough. I honestly, I was, I was doing this for so many reasons, like physical, um, religious, and then also just because you were doing it, and I'm like, yeah, for sure, I'll do it with you.
Mm-hmm.
But so I was really trying to like fast from everything. I was trying to fast from, well, first off, food, and then not just social media, not all social media, but like Instagram and YouTube. I was like, I'm only gonna watch stuff on YouTube if it's educational, not for you know,
Yeah.
entertainment. And I didn't want to play video games, but I did.
Yeah.
I played video games last night because I was like, I don't want to distract myself from this. I need to like focus, and I'm gonna dial in and be productive. And I was going to. I didn't do my laundry. My laundry been sitting on my floor for 3 days. My clean laundry needs to be put away, and I was gonna do it, and I don't know. My body was like, dude, you're either eating or you're playing video games right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'll play video games.
Yeah, even when I was playing video games, it didn't distract me as much as it did like me like physically doing something like working or working
Mm.
out or doing something like that. But which I was kind of surprised because I was like, if I can just zone in, play video games for a few hours, I'll definitely like I'll be chilling.
Yeah, it depends what game you're playing too, because a lot of games you have a little bit of downtime
Yeah,
in
that's
between,
true.
and you just did you have a tough time focusing on anything other than the food?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I didn't have any like specific cravings, but like definitely like salty foods I was like craving, like just kind of anything, no matter what it was. Cause like usually I'll have like some goldfish like before to go to bed or something like that. And I was just like, dude, like I just want like a little taste, something. But I was like, I can't do it. And I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very much agree. That's why I said it. I it was another thing that surprised me is just how much that I was thinking about it. Like I literally haven't thought about anything else. I can't stop thinking about, wow, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Yep.
That's why I feel weird like just saying, I feel like we're saying the same things over and over again, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's just this is all we can think about right now. And like I said, if you think you can do it, I would challenge you to do it
Yeah. And
for your own good.
yeah, you've no idea like what you're capable of until you kind of put even if it's like something small, even if you start with like a 1 day, it's like the beginning of something. You know what I mean? And then you can work your way up. And it doesn't even have to be fasting. It goes for anything in life. You challenge yourself and maybe you'll fail a few times, which is totally fine. You learn from it. But once you succeed that one time, you'll realize like, oh, this feels pretty good. Like maybe I can accomplish this now. And you start to do that, and then you can work your way up so far with just starting with something so small.
There's something about prolonging suffering, like putting yourself through prolonged suffering. So with this, obviously, it's 3 full days. 72 hours is not a short amount of time to feel uncomfortable, even if you're not super, super uncomfortable and you're not like in pain the whole time. But this is prolonged suffering. So if tomorrow you tell me, oh, I have to go and spend an hour working out, it's like, oh, an hour?
Yeah,
An hour?
right.
That's
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Okay. So, or even stuff that could be good motivation for like work.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a lot of stuff you have to do and you're used to doing these 3-day fasts or 72 hours, sounds like a lot more.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I need to sit down for 10 hours and do this work. No breaks. And you're like, 10 hours? I've fasted for 7 times longer than that.
Right.
So build some resilience.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it like that until you just said it, but that's like a really good way to go about doing kind of anything else you don't want to do.
Yeah, I didn't think of that until now either.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, people, I've heard the concept of it is, well, they usually say do something harder. So if you have to do your laundry, give yourself the option to either do your laundry or go spend an hour and a half working out. And most of the time, you're gonna be like, I'd rather do laundry, and then your laundry gets done.
Yeah.
So, or you could just do the hour and a half workout or the cold plunge. That's a lot of the reason why people do that too. It's like, dude, I did a cold plunge this morning. What's spending 15 minutes to put my laundry away?
Right. Yeah.
It's mental resilience. It's physical resilience.
Yeah, I've never done a cold plunge, but I kind of want to. Like, I kind of don't want to, but now that I've done this, it's like, how bad can that be? You know what I mean?
It's much easier.
Yeah.
It's much easier.
Yeah, especially because it's a lot shorter of a time. And I think about that kind of when I'm doing anything. It's like you're only gonna feel like this for like whatever it is, like a half hour. It depends what you're doing, but like it's gonna go away.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even gonna remember what it feels like. Like you said, in like 2 days, we're not even gonna remember really what this was like. Yeah, it sucked, but like, are we really gonna know exactly how we felt?
Yeah, that's the whole thing with the cold plunge. It's like, dude, literally. I mean, you still feel the after effects of it, even like an hour after, but you're not like uncomfortable, dude. Once you're spent your 3 minutes in the water and you go upstairs and shower, you're pretty much like, okay, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, and then it's like it was done.
Yeah, and you're super proud of yourself. The reason I think that the cold plunge is a lot easier than this, and besides just the fact of the timing, the amount of time it takes, is that the hardest part of the cold plunge is just getting in.
Yep.
Once you're in, it's not that difficult. With this, I feel like it's very easy to start because it's easy to miss your first meal. It's very easy. Like that was easy. Missing breakfast that morning was very easy, but then it came lunch and I'm like, oh, this is a little harder. And then it came dinner and it was a little harder. And I'm like, wait, I have to sleep through the night?
Yep.
And, the sheer volume of time definitely made it harder. So it's hard to compare it to cold plunging.
Yep.
But yeah, just the fact of like, dude, once you're in the water, you're just in the water. You're not going to get more uncomfortable.
Yep.
We talked about a cap to your hunger.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain that?
So I don't know. I kind of briefly explained this to you before, but you thought it was kind of weird that like I feel like I've been more hungry before, which is kind of bizarre because like you'd think after not eating for so long you'd get like super hungry, and like I thought it would get to the point where I got so hungry where like I was like I have to have food, like I need it, but I like right now I'm just as hungry as I was 50 hours ago, and it'll go away for a little bit too, but I was really surprised with how my hunger didn't get worse. So
I feel the same way. Yeah, it's really insane. You expect the hunger charts to go up and up and up and up and up and just keep going up at a slow rate. But realistically, what it does is it goes up for about a day and then it just levels. And you're just, oh, wait, I'm not much hungrier than I was 24 hours ago.
yeah, that makes it easier.
Yeah. But there is, like I said, it's up and down.
Yeah.
Like it goes up and then it just goes up and down.
Yeah.
I don't know if I already said this, but yeah, it was some of the hardest times were when I was supposed to eat.
Yeah.
So, this morning, I wasn't very hungry until it was time to eat breakfast. And I was like, wait, I should be eating breakfast right now. And I think it's partially because my body's on, like kind of on a clock.
Yeah.
And it's ready to eat. Once it hits noon, boom, my hunger goes up like crazy. I wait an hour and it's kind of gone off. And then it hits 4:30, 5, 6 o'clock, and boom, my hunger goes up again.
Mm-hmm.
It's really crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think is the biggest benefit of it? Because we've mentioned a bunch of them.
I don't know, because I feel like I'll be able to answer this question in 2 days, like after they see how clear I feel, like for my mind. Because I feel like if I feel as clear as I think I'm going to feel, I feel like that will be number one. But if not, then I would definitely say health. Like, because you hear things saying it gets rid of diseases. Obviously, it's good to just kind of like get everything out of you too. Because like, I mean, I don't eat very clean. So yeah, I would definitely say health or clarity of mind.
It's good for preventing diseases, I've heard.
Yeah. Yes.
So
yes.
if you do, I don't know the details, but I feel like I heard if you do like a 3-day fast or longer, I forget what it was, that you have like a 70% less chance to get cancer. And, there's a whole bunch of stuff like Alzheimer's helps with that. I think it's partially the fact that you're starving your body and you're kind of forcing your mind to work harder.
Yeah.
Or you're forcing your body to go through hard things. So when it's easy, it's good. Like, it's fine.
Your body's not used to like feeling like this for a super long period of time. So you're making it work, and like probably it's doing things that it wasn't doing before.
Well, what's funny too is that our bodies, if you go back to, old times, our bodies were probably more used to this than they were to the amount of food that we eat now.
Mm-hmm.
So like our bodies aren't built to eat 3 giant meals a day. We're not supposed to have like 3,000 calories a day. Our bodies aren't built for that. But we ate berries and meat, and that's it.
That
and not much.
That and like what, alcohol, like wine and beer.
Yeah.
That was all they had.
Well, I mean like way back, like caveman era.
Oh.
Like our bodies are just not like they ate berries and meat, and that's all they ate, and they didn't eat a lot of it every day. So their bodies were probably, and I'm sure they went through several weeks at a time where they just didn't have any food because they were unsuccessful hunting or whatever. But
But that's how they adapted to that. I mean, they were doing that for how many years?
Yeah, and our bodies are adapted to that still.
Yeah.
So we don't. It's unnatural for us to be eating the amount that we do.
And if we like regularly did stuff like this, we would get used to it. Like I'm sure, like obviously this was our first time, but say we started doing this like 3, 4, 5, 6 more times, the 6th time would just be like, all right, let's just fast for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be a lot easier.
That's exactly how it was with the cold plunge.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I've done this for 2 weeks straight. It's like another day is not that difficult. What was I was gonna ask something about the fast. I forget. Whatever. Yeah, dude, like it's partially fun because it's such a weird thing that no one does. And you feel proud of yourself.
Well, I told a lot of people, like my dad, my mom, just people in my family, really, and they all looked at me like I was stupid. They're like, "What do you mean you're not going to eat for 3 days?" And I was like, "I'm fasting." They're like, "That can't be good for you." And I was like, "Well, how do you know?" They're like, "Well, you can't not eat for 3 days." And I was like, "Well, I've done a lot of research on it, and I encourage you to do the same. You don't have to do it, but like, there's a lot of really good things that could come out. Like, I'm not gonna kill myself if I feel like I'm gonna pass out, or like if it got to that point, I probably would have been like, all right, well, I'll stop."
Mm-hmm.
But it was just amazing to me how many people told me it was a bad idea.
Yeah, I experienced the same thing.
Yep.
A lot of people, they're just like, "No way, you're not doing it for 72 hours." I'm like, "Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am. I can do it." How much weight did you lose?
So I didn't weigh myself the very first day. And well, I did like the morning of, but I forgot to weigh myself like that night.
Mm.
But I think I was around 176, 177. And I weighed myself this morning, and I was 172, I think.
So like 4 pounds.
Yeah,
4 pounds.
like 4 or 5. Yeah.
I always weigh myself in the morning. That's the best time to weigh yourself anyway,
Yeah.
because most of the liquids are out of your body, so it's not changing the results. I think the first day I weighed 159 on the dot, and then this morning, which was that was not 72 hours because it was like 60 hours in. I weighed myself and I weighed 155.6, so I lost like 4.5.
Yeah.
Or wait, yeah, wait, no, 3.5.
Same thing.
Yeah, so, wait, I didn't lose that much. I thought I was gonna lose more.
I was expecting to lose about 4-ish pounds.
Yeah. You know what's funny too is now I feel like it's not that impressive, the 3-day. It's very it's difficult, but you think, okay, that wasn't like that
But
bad.
a lot of people won't even like attempt it. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, no way.
Yeah.
Like, no shot. But
Well, it sounds so bad.
yeah.
But once you do it, you're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
like you asked how long you think I could go. Feel like I could go a week.
Yeah.
In best conditions. And so doing the 3 days, 3 days actually doesn't sound that long.
Yeah.
But it is, it's definitely something. You said, well, actually we were talking before and we said it's not really like hunger
Mm-hmm.
that's getting to us. It's all the mental.
Yep.
So what's the difference there? What's the difference between like being hungry and just wanting to eat?
Because like when you're hungry, like, I don't know, you physically feel yourself like hunger, but like when I'm in my head, like I am in my head, like I'm constantly saying like, just eat food, dude. Like you want to eat, you want to eat. And I'm like, but I can't. And you're like, yes, you can. You can go upstairs and grab some food right now. It's like, no, that's not how this is going to work. So it was definitely like a battle in my own head rather than just me physically feeling something.
Do you think it was worse with the with snacks? Do you think that was worse than the meals?
Yes. Because I feel like I snack a decent amount. Like I said, with intermediate fasting, I'm kind of used to missing like a meal every once in a while, but being able to not snack when I was just like playing video games or just like relaxing was probably the hardest part.
I agree. I went downstairs and my mom was like cutting up fruit or something. And she had like a little bowl of oranges, and I'm like, I just want one slice.
Yep.
Like I just want one, and now I'm not even. It wasn't even because I was super hungry. It's just like I just want to eat. Like my body just wants to eat. I don't know how much of it is a habit, how much of it is our bodies like just it being a habit. Or if it's literally our minds being like, dude, you're starving, you need to eat. And so that's why it's so tough to mentally.
I think it's more of a habit only because I'm able to like tell myself like, you'll be fine. Like you'll be okay. You're just a little hungry. Like if I feel like if I was coming down to the moment where I was like, okay, I have to eat, I would, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'd be able to tell if my body like was going to shut down.
Yeah. Did you have any sort of like dizziness or, I mean, obviously you were probably tired like I was, but any sort of like dizziness or maybe feeling like passing out?
The only time I felt dizzy was sometimes if I stood up really fast, which happens to me anyways sometimes, but like definitely not having any food made it a little bit worse.
It's low iron.
Yeah.
So we had none.
Yeah, 0.
Yeah. And, I eat a lot of steak, so I have a very high iron content in me. But yeah, it was, I agree. Yeah. I stood up fast today and I'm like, okay, gotta sit back down.
Yeah.
Gotta sit back down. I don't feel good.
Are you getting more hungry right now, knowing that like we're talking about this and that you're going to be done in a few hours?
I don't think so. I feel like my body is just cruising out the last few hours. What time is it right now? Let's check. Right now it is 4:45. So we have 2 hours and 15 minutes left. It's, that's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's, I think my body's more excited than that I know I'm gonna get some Chipotle.
Yep.
Than it is hungry that I haven't had any food
Yeah.
in whatever 70 hours.
I feel the same way, but I'm also like progressively getting more hungry as we get closer.
When do you think is the next time you're gonna do this? If you're gonna.
I was actually gonna ask you that if you wanted to do it again or if you wanted to do it longer. Cause I don't know, cause it kind of sucked, but like then again, it's a nice challenge, like a mental challenge. So I don't know. I was actually talking to someone at work, and I was like, I don't know if I would do this again. Like maybe I would, and if I would do it again, I think it would be kind of soon. Like I would do it in like June.
Oh, in June. See, I was thinking, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna do it the same at the same time again. Nah, I feel like if I was to do another one, I feel like I'd have to do longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just
yeah.
because,
even if it's like a little bit longer.
yeah, even like 4 days or 5 days, because I don't know. It's hard to say right now because I'm not reaping any of the benefits right now.
Yeah.
I just feel bad. Like I just feel like crap right now. And it's hard to say I'm going to do this again when I feel like crap.
Yeah.
But it's also partially my fault cuz I didn't sleep well.
Yeah.
And I could have, but it was very difficult for me to sleep last night just cuz rolling around in my bed and everywhere I move my stomach is like hurting and I'm hungry.
You need food.
We do need food. So eating in 2 hours.
Yep.
Do you think you're going to be able to eat a lot or a little?
So I think like my mind's saying, oh, you're going to be able to eat everything. Like literally like whatever you want, as much as you want. Like you haven't eaten in 3 days. You got to make up for it, right? But then I was talking to Nathan about it, and he was saying, I don't think you're going to be able to eat as much as you think. Like I think you're going to eat a little bit and you're going to get full really fast. And honestly, I think he's right. But at the same time, I think I can eat. So
I'm in the camp where I want to eat everything, but I don't think I'm going to be able to.
Yeah.
So I'm planning on getting like 2 full meals.
Yeah.
But I already know that once I start mowing down that Chipotle, I'm going to be like, I'm a little nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
Like I already know it. Even taking like I told you before, like if I had a glass here like this big and I chugged it full of water, I'd feel really, really nauseous. Because it's just something, I mean, you hear that all the time. I heard about, there was this crazy like soldier in like World War II that got captured and then released and then captured again. And then he was put into like a tin can to burn in the sun. And, he didn't eat for, I forget what it was, like probably 50 days or something. And in even worse conditions than us, we're in air-conditioned houses.
Yeah.
We're sleeping on a comfortable bed. And after that, his whole life, he just can't eat much because his stomach is it was so traumatized from that one time of not eating for however long it was that he just can't eat that much. And I feel like that's going to be us, but on like a 10th of a scale.
Yeah.
and or less.
Yeah.
So
I think that, but I'm also very used to eating like large quantities of food, like when I want to. So I don't know. But I also like, do you think like your stomach got smaller? Like what?
Well, it does.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
But like, how much do you think that's going to affect you?
I don't know. I feel like it's going to affect me for the first meal. And then the next meal, it's going to be like, okay, I'm back to normal.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But I do want to eat a lot.
Me too.
Like I want to eat
me too.
so much, which is the weirdest thing.
Yep.
It's to me, and you can either say it's different or the same for you, but for me, it's not even just missing like the taste of things. Like we were making jokes about brushing our teeth, how that was the best feeling ever. But like genuinely, it wasn't. Like it's not even the taste of anything that I want. It's that I just want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do the action of eating, chewing, and swallowing. Like that's.
Yeah, I feel that.
want.
I feel that, but I also do feel the taste thing, and maybe it was like with specific things, like when my family was eating dinner, like when Kylie was eating snacks, it was like I want to taste that so bad. But like throughout like just going out my day, I never really thought like I want to taste food. It was more I want to eat food.
Mm-hmm.
So
anything else?
Um, for anyone, if you want to challenge yourself, I kind of recommend it. Like I don't know 100% yet because I don't know the after effects or how I feel yet, but definitely challenge yourself in some sort of way, whether it's something small or like you can lead up to like to big things. You have no idea what you're capable of until you start challenging yourself. And I think by either fasting or literally doing anything mentally tough is a good way to start because you have no idea how far you can go with just a little thing.
Right? Putting yourself through mental pain.
Yeah.
You know, we usually don't get mental pain in our lives other than when it's forced upon us. And, you know, people constantly are putting themselves through physical pain like we are when we're lifting. That's painful. A lot of the times when people are working, they're doing physical labor jobs. That's painful. Everything, running, exercising, any sort of exercising, even most sports are very painful physically. But we're purposefully putting ourselves through that. And we never get that through the mental aspect.
Yep.
So putting yourself purposefully through emotional or mental hard times, it really builds some resilience because you're like working a new muscle.
Yeah.
It's like you're working a new muscle.
Yeah, it's weird because, yeah, like you said, we don't really work our brains or our minds that much. I mean, obviously, like, we learn new things every day and stuff, but something that's literally challenging, like questioning, like, what are you doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard.
Did you go into, we'll wrap it up in a bit, but did you have anything that you were, like, looking for in that clarity?
Yeah, I kind of felt that this morning. So whatever I was feeling this morning is what I expected to feel. Like I just felt so clear and not like energetic, but I felt like normally in the morning I feel like I feel like a zombie. Like I felt like I was present. Like I
Yeah.
don't really know how else to explain that other than I felt like I was able to, I don't know, like just be alive.
Yeah. Yeah, were you looking for any, like, questions to be answered in your mind or anything like that?
The only question I had, but I knew I could do it from the start, was like, am I going to be able to do this? That was the only question I had.
That's interesting. My question, this is more from, like, I hear this from religious people, is like, you find, like, you will hear from God if you do this. And my question that I wanted to, like, be answered or my mind would be clear and I would finally realize, like, what I'm supposed to do with this podcast. Like, what am I supposed to do with this in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah.
Like, what's my role? And, on that, I've heard that people get that days after their fast as well. So I'm hoping it comes then because I haven't had it now.
Yeah. I think you're too distracted.
Yeah, I am, for sure. Well, it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be a brutal next, like, hour and a half. And then, I feel like once I start cooking my food, I'm going to be like...
I think you're going to get really hungry.
Maybe.
At least I think I will.
Yeah, possibly. Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming on. If you guys did enjoy this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. And that's all. I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy and you find yourself coming back on the regular, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you never miss a full episode when it comes out. These are going to be coming out every week, and, you don't want to miss them. There's a lot of knowledge and stuff. If you want to watch another episode, go to the left of your screen right there. You can click it. If you're watching on a TV, you're not going to be able to click it, but that's okay. So thank you again for sticking by and watching till the end, and I will see you next time.